Boeing 777 is one of the largest passenger aircraft ever built. It's packed with tracking systems, it carries hundreds of people, and it flies through some of the most monitored airspace on Earth. So explain this. How does an aircraft carrying 239 people simply vanish? Not crash, not send a distress call, not leave behind a clear trail, just disappear. Because that's exactly what happened on March 8, 2014. And more than a decade later, nobody can say with complete certainty where it went. MH370 was supposed to be an ordinary overnight flight. It departed Kuala Lumpur shortly after midnight, heading for Beijing. On board were 239 passengers and crew. Some were sleeping, some were watching movies, some were thinking about landing. For nearly an hour, everything looked completely normal. Then came the final routine communication. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Nothing about those words sounded unusual. Nobody listening had any reason to believe they would become the last confirmed words from the aircraft. A few minutes later, the plane's transponder disappeared. Communications stopped. The aircraft vanished from civilian radar. At first, it looked like a technical issue, maybe a malfunction. But then military radar picked up something unexpected. The aircraft had turned around. Not a slight adjustment, a deliberate turn. Someone was controlling that plane. And that single discovery changed everything. Now investigators weren't asking where the aircraft was. They were asking why it had changed course. Evidence later suggested the aircraft continued flying for hours. Hours through the darkness while nobody on the ground knew where it was going. No emergency calls, no messages, no explanation. Just silence. As the hours passed, concern turned into alarm. Then alarm turned into one of the largest search operations in aviation history. Countries across the world joined the effort. Ships swept enormous sections of ocean. Aircraft searched from above. Satellites were analyzed. Experts studied every piece of data. Millions of dollars were spent. And yet, the result was almost unbelievable. Nothing. No complete wreckage, no survivors, no answers. Eventually, a few pieces of debris began washing ashore on distant coastlines. Proof the aircraft ended somewhere in the Indian Ocean. But not enough to solve the mystery. Not even close. Over the years, theories flooded in. Some believed it was deliberately diverted. Others suspected a catastrophic event. Some focused on the pilots. Others pointed to mechanical failure. Each theory answered certain questions, but none answered all of them. And that's why the story refuses to disappear. Because in a world filled with satellites, GPS, and constant surveillance, a modern passenger jet slipped beyond our reach. Think about that for a moment. A package can be tracked across continents. A food delivery can be monitored in real time. A phone reveals its location within seconds. Yet a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the modern age. Maybe one day the full truth will be discovered. Maybe the ocean is still holding the final answers. Or maybe the most unsettling part is much simpler. For all our technology, for all our tracking systems, for all our confidence, there are still places where certainty ends, and questions remain. Somewhere beyond the radar screens, beyond the search zones, beyond a decade of investigation, the final chapter of MH370 is still waiting to be found.